Hey everyone, Illusionist Dave here, and I wanted to talk to y'all today about a topic that really kind of concerns me. And I wanted to get your input and get your thoughts because it really does. It concerns me. I am, as most of you should know, physically disabled, and I'm also a regular person. And that's significant to this discussion. I see so many people that just look at me and they make a couple of assumptions. One, they think, oh, he's just such a wonderful, wonderful person. Not true. Two, they think, oh, he's such an inspiration for what he's going through. Also not true. Um, and they make generalizations about people in wheelchairs. They can also make generalizations that really, well, for instance, a lot of people assume when they look at me that when they just look at me without talking to me that I've got mental issues because I'm in a wheelchair. Last time I checked, you used wheelchairs because you couldn't walk, not because you were stupid. So, I don't know where these people get this idea that physically disabled people are mentally disabled as well, but it's really, really annoying. So, but the main thing that I want to focus on today was this whole you're special or you're an inspiration bullcrap. Let's say that a person is born from a divorce or born and then their family divorces or parents divorce very immediately and the dad runs off and the mom is left to raise the child by herself. Does that make the child automatically better for that? I don't think so. It means he dealt with the set of circumstances that life dealt to him. That's what we do as humans. That's our job. Deal with what life gives you. Sorry, I've got broken glasses. That's what life is. It's dealing with the problems that handed to you. And, you know, I think Dr. House, made a wonderful, wonderful demonstration. He was talking to, I can't remember if it was Cuddy or someone else, but he was making the demonstration that when they see him, they see a cane until they get to know it. And so he says, let me show you. So he walks over to a woman who is sitting in the office reading a magazine, not paying attention, and he presses his cane right on her foot as hard as he can, and she jumps up furious that he just stomped on her. And then she sees that, oh my god, it's a guy with a cane. Oh, sir, I am so sorry. Listen, it's my fault. Your fault for sitting there and a guy runs you over or stomps on your foot. That makes no sense. So, a lot of people do this. You know, if I'm not watching where I'm going and I run you over, that's not your fault because I'm in a wheelchair. That's my fault because I didn't watch where the hell I was going. You know, it doesn't make me special to be in a wheelchair. It makes me in a wheelchair. You know, just like the kid's parents being divorced just makes him a kid with divorced parents. I mean, that's just your life circumstances. And admittedly, there are some horrible, difficult things that I have to go through, and it's very, 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 very challenging. But that's my set of circumstances. There are sets of circumstances that other people deal with that are equally as hard to them, and they're not necessarily inspirational for going through those things. They're living their life. That's what they are supposed to do. Anyway, they aren't inspirational necessarily for going through that. They are just living their lives. And I'm not special because I'm disabled. I'm special because I'm me. You know, that's what makes me special. I'm unique, just like everybody else. You know, I don't get where this thinking comes from. You don't have to coddle this whole coddle uh, idea really has hindered the disabled, I think, rather than helped them. Sorry, there was a fly. Because even even when I was growing up, I remember growing up and little girls would chase guys around the playgrounds and knock them down and throw them around, and you know they fit in, and that was normal, quote unquote normal guys. And I do think there is a set. This is another way I've just, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Let me get back to topic, and then I'll go over that if I have time. But so I remember all these guys getting thrown around, and I wanted to be that. There was nothing weak. I had my a little bit less balance, but physically I was as strong as the other guys. But girls never chased me around and threw me around because they were afraid that they were going to hurt me. And I have a real problem with that. I have a real problem with that because, you know, you hear people say, don't treat me any differently, and that's true. What spawned all this was, and I'm going to be as vague as possible. I was reading, actually it was an advertisement that I saw about a kid who has an illness that he's dealing with. Very hard illness, don't get me wrong. It's not fun. It's not a pleasant set of circumstances, but he learned to deal with it through enjoying the simple things, and there's a very simple thing that he likes, and he's obsessed with it. And everybody's talking like he's an inspiration, but he's really not. I mean, maybe he is because of some other things, but not because he's a disabled guy that's obsessed with a certain thing. That just means he's got interest just like everybody else, and his interest is pretty lame, to be honest. But he's a kid, so, you know, there we go. And he could do something he could do a lot of very interesting things with his interest, too, that, you know, I'll give him credit for. But I just thought it was amazing. I looked at his videos, and it was just amazed. I was amazed at how people were like, he's such an inspiration. For what? Living his life? What do you expect him to kill himself because he was born disabled? I mean, that's the alternative. What you're saying is people that would do the normal thing would be not living their lives, which would be suicide. And so I think that thinking is very, very unhealthy. I think it's very unhealthy. What do you think? I want your responses to this. This is a very serious topic, and it's a very personal topic. The other thing that I wanted to get to was this whole idea of if you're in a wheelchair, you're mentally disabled, which is really kind of dumb. As I've stated in another video, which is I think it's 11 myths about the disabled debunked, you wouldn't go up to a deaf person and say, can you see me okay? That wouldn't make sense. That doesn't compute. So wheelchair means physically disabled, you can't walk. How does that translate to I can't think? It doesn't. It doesn't work that way. So that was my other issue that I've got a problem with. I remember one time I was at my stepmom taught at, it was called the Children's Colony, or Jonesboro Human Development Center, and it was a place for the mentally retarded. It was that lived there. I mean, they lived and breathed at this development center, and one time they had an art show, was at the public library, and I went because my stepmom was kind of working the event, and all the kids went. You know, I've got a stepbrother, stepsister, and two other brothers. We all went, and my dad went, and someone came up to me and said, pardon me, someone came up to me and said, "Where's your artwork?" And I said, "Man, my artwork's at home on the wall." Wasn't trying to be rude, but she automatically made the assumption, oh, he's in a wheelchair, so he must be disabled, physically or mentally. No, that's dumb. That's backwards thinking. And every now and then, this didn't happen to me so much, but every now and then you'd have people that would say, "What would he like to order?" And I'd be like, "I would like to order." And there are lots of stories like that. It happens to a lot of people. Uh, Last thing I wanted to touch on was there is a normal. My video cut out, so that was weird. So, but anyway, there is such thing as normal. People say, "Oh, it's just a setting on the dryer." No, there's a definite thing called normal, and the reason I say that is with my no legs, I've noticed how abnormal that is. Because if I lean over too far, I fall out of the wheelchair, fall on my face. Or if I lean back too far, I fall on my back and sometimes even my head. That is not normal. There is in no way, shape, or form is that normal. It's just not. And I realize it's something to try to help people that are disabled, but it doesn't help. There is a normal, and I'm not it in any way, shape, or form. So that was the last thing I wanted to touch on. I want to get your thoughts. This is a very interesting topic of discussion. I would like to hear especially from more disabled people and their family and friends, because I think it is important. Also, I'd like you to check out my 11 myths. I've got a fly in here. The 11 myths about the disabled debunked. I'll put a link to that because I think that's a very important video too. So let me know what you think, guys. Alright, I'm out. Bye.